Welcome to the first live stream. I think we are actually live right now on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. This is literally taking me way too long to actually do this. Jojo is giving me the thumbs up. You have no idea how excited I am. You have no idea how excited I am. I went out, I was for 2 months and weekend after weekend trying to get this live. And I just had faith. I said at one point, this is gonna be our future, which is a media company. This is gonna be everything that we really just envision we wanna do. So this is our first Facebook Live, and I'm super excited. We're on simultaneously streaming on Instagram, I keep on saying that. Soon it's gonna be Instagram, on Facebook and YouTube, our BPI page. So we're gonna have 3 shows. And honestly, for me, I would rather have live shows because live shows, there's no messing up. You know that it's all real, it's raw. It makes me a better presenter, makes me better on camera. And Jojo's actually behind the camera right now doing a fantastic job for the vlog. We have had 6 vlogs, and I can tell you right now, so a daily vlog, obviously you guys already know hopefully what that is. Someone follows you around or you do it yourself, you edit it down for that day. And we've had ridiculous amounts of feedback, like incredible amounts of feedback. Right now we have 2 cameras, we have 2 microphones, obviously the live feed. So what are we going to be talking about? Actually, before we get into that, let me introduce myself. I am Charles Botensten, Botensten Properties International, the founder, which I started in 2014. And essentially, there's 2 different shows. Okay, so number 1 is Jojo's going to be heading out right now, but no, he's actually going to stay. I love how you guys can't see it. 2 shows. One is agents. You know, I started out in 2009 as an agent, and essentially, I wish I had something. I wish I had YouTube, honestly, because I would be on YouTube every single day trying to get better. What did I do in 2009? I tried to do everything under the sun, fell on my face way too many times, and essentially just said, okay, I have to read, I have to learn, I have to get better. There were some mentors involved, but I said, you know what I need? I need someone that's actually 2 things. Number 1 is, these are the 2 different shows. We're gonna have BPIU, which is obviously, BPI is the name of the company, and U, University, BPIU, which is for agents. It's for people that are either aspiring, and to be honest, I think it's really gonna turn into a sales show, because that's really what we're going to be talking about. And the second one is going to be for consumers. Those are going to be buyers, sellers, people that probably don't even really care about sales, but they want to know about the market. They want to know about buying, selling, renting, either renting their home out or renting an apartment. So all those people, developers, getting into a board, attorneys, bankers, especially in New York City, it becomes so convoluted and complicated that you literally, all you really want to do is buy a home. It's not like the suburbs. The suburbs are, you literally find a home and then that's it. Then you just buy. Obviously, yes, there's more involved, like having someone come in, appraise the home if there's a bank involved, and obviously an inspection and things like that, and title and whatnot. But in New York City, it's at least a 2-month process. If it's a condo and it's cash, you have to, there's no board approval. But then if it's a co-op, then it's going to be 3 months. It's going to be crazy, especially in the future, because there's more and more paperwork involved, more and more paperwork on the legality side, which is the attorneys, then the banking side, just regulation is just becoming so like insane. And then the third, which is the co-op. So you have, you know, people are debating like, are real estate agents going to be around? You know, that's a debate for another show. But today, what we're going to be talking about on the very first live, I can't believe I got it right the first time I heard this. So I was over the weekend, so this is going to be BPIU. Over the weekend, I was at something called Synergy Global. And Synergy Global essentially was probably one of the top, from the top to the bottom, list of speakers that I've ever seen in my life. You had Richard Branson, Gary Vaynerchuk, Simon Sinek. You had the guy from Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. You had Nassim Taleb, who wrote the book Anti-Fragile, Black Swan. You had Daniel Goleman, who came out with emotional intelligence, and now there's emotional intelligence 2.0. You had all these top speakers. You had Guy Kawasaki. There was one thing that I really took out of it, and I wish I can give the person credit. I don't know who said it, but they said the new reality is that businessmen are athletes, businessmen, businesswomen are athletes, and athletes are businessmen. In other words, if you rely just on your athletic abilities, then you're going to be successful, obviously, in the athletic arena, but you also have to learn about business. You're going to have to learn about your brand, about advertising, about your image, about the perception that you put out into the world. You know, you have people like Derek Jeter. He lives in New York City. I think he played his entire 20 whatever year career at the Yankees. You know, so you literally have one of the most media savvy or media hungry cities in the world, and he's playing on one of the top 5 out of all, you know, we're talking about soccer, football, baseball, all of the clubs in the world, even soccer clubs globally. The Yankees, I think, are 1, 2, or 3 most valuable. I think there's a football club out in England, and for him to have his image as intact for all those years, you know, he's a single guy, well, not anymore, but when he played for the Yankees, he was probably one of the top bachelors. And then Alex Rodriguez comes into town, and he's flashy. He's down in Soho. He's getting photographed with, you know, all these actresses. So what is your image? And that's essentially what athletes need to become. Look at LeBron James. I think the originator, if that's a word, the original is Michael Jordan. You know, I read the book Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, and he mentions in there that they approached this young guy coming out of Georgetown. I think he came out of Georgetown. Was he Georgetown or UNC? I know he played Patrick Ewing in the NCAA championship, I think he was. Either way, he came out, and he's now a billionaire. But obviously at that time in the 90s, he had so much pressure on him to perform because he became a businessman. His image, everything that he stood for was going to be out onto the arena because the contract that he signed with Nike. So Shoe Dog Phil Knight is the founder of Nike. Well, co-founder with a bunch of other people, but he essentially was the visionary. You know, Apple was started with Wozniak, but people remember Jobs or Paul Allen and what's his name? Bill Gates. You know, there's co-founders. You have the visionary, which is Jobs and Gates, and then you have the people that are day-to-day, the integrators, that are Wozniak and Paul Allen. So if you are not actually focused on being in business as an athlete, you're going to make whatever your salary is playing that sport, but if you're not smart, you're not going to monetize your ability. And here's the kicker, is if you don't actually think about that at one time you could get hurt. At one time you could just end your entire career and you're done. You know, how many athletes go into, say, Curt Schilling? Curt Schilling's a perfect example, is that he becomes a world-class baseball player. I think he made 500, it was him or Mike Tyson made $500 million and just overspent. They were an athlete, but they weren't a businessman. You know, it's silly. So going back to how we started this, which is business people, man, woman, doesn't matter. You have to be an athlete. You know, this is the best example is, you know, back in the day, they didn't really go to the gym. I was talking to my dad a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned Jim Brown. So Jim Brown is the top guy for, yeah, we're going to get kicked out in about 8 minutes from our conference room. What I would say is our perception of business people has changed because you need to be all around. You know, you can save money, you can also, you know, have the intellect, but if you don't have the energy, if you don't have the enthusiasm, if you are just, you know, dragging your feet through the mud while you're a businessman or businesswoman, by the time you hit 40, which is now the new like 20, you're going to be, it's just not going to look good for you. Okay? So what I can say is focus on your mind, your body, what you put in your body, and things like that, especially as a real estate agent. You're running around all day. The time of just not no competition, but little competition is far gone. There is so much competition, especially in New York City, especially big markets like Miami, LA, San Francisco, Boston, Chicago, Austin, Texas. These are big marketplaces, even Colorado, Seattle. These are massive markets with tons of agents. The pricing is going up, so that means there's higher stakes. And what do owners want? They want someone that has it all. And if you don't have it all, if you don't have your aesthetics down, if you don't have your energy down, like right now, it's 12:53. I feel alive, no pun intended. And for me, I know that I can go another 4 hours and just be fine. Me last year, even though I was younger, I would have been wiped out by this time because I talked too much. I was on camera with the vlog, obviously making phone calls in the morning. I already went to the gym. So that me last year would have wiped all of that energy out. So we're going to be wrapping it up, though I could be talking for freaking hours about this, is focus on, and obviously this is the first one, and for me to get it on the first stream, I'm super excited. I know the future is going to hold some big prospects. Soon we're going to have people that are going to be able to either call in, kind of like the Ask Gary V, or they're going to have comments, and I'm going to be able to see them. I'm going to answer them live. However, what I could say is, going forward, to conclude this, if you are not focusing on your health, you're screwed. Because someone else is going to pass you. Someone else is going to be able to make phone calls at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. when you're answering an email, when you're just too tired to do that, or you don't have your enthusiasm, or an owner can only meet at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. because they're working all day and they're saying, listen, the only time I can actually meet is when it's after work. And for you, you could have had a full day. You need to go into that pitch, or as I like to say, presentation. You go into that presentation on top of the world. Because if you don't, they're not going to want to work with you. If you can't successfully present your need, how you can handle their needs at 6 p.m., how are you going to be able to do that for 6 months? If it takes that long, or 3 months, representing their property, representing potentially the biggest asset that they have. I don't know the actual percentage, but it has to be around 90% of someone's biggest asset is their home. If you own it, obviously, if you're trading it. The other would be a business or a boat or a plane or things like that, depends. But if you have a plane, you probably have pretty expensive little thing that you call a home. So this is the first one. I'm probably gonna have a part 2 of this because it's so deep and important, but I really have to thank you guys. I have to thank the man behind the camera, which is Jojo. We have one of the best cameras out there, if not the best one, the A7S II. And the lens is amazing, the lighting is amazing. I'm super excited for the future, for vlogging, for lives. If there's anything, any feedback, any comments, just let us know. We're definitely gonna be all ears, and it's just gonna get better and better and better. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Most importantly is subscribe, share, and let me know anything that you'd like me to talk about in the future. We're gonna have, like I said, 3 shows. One is gonna be more on the personal brand, and that's gonna be more personal development. The middle one is gonna be more geared towards people that are either entrepreneurs or in sales and whatnot. And then the third one, so we're gonna have 3 lives a week. The third one is going to be more towards those consumers that are interested in real estate and can care less about everything else. So shoot me not a call yet, but shoot me a comment, subscribe. I'm going to sign off for now. This is literally the first time I'm going to be doing it, so I'm hopefully